One day, a new monk joins a temple, and he's given the job of transcribing texts by hand from older texts. And he notices that as part of this job, he isn't making copies of the original, but rather copies of copies. So he points out to the head monk that if one person makes an error, then that's going to be in all of the copies from there on. And the head monk says, "Well, we have been doing it this way for a long time, so I see your concern. Tell you what, I will go back and check the original text to see what they say." Later that day, the head monk is seen weeping in his chambers with an old stone tablet, and one of his fellow monks comes in and says, "Sir, why are you weeping?" And he says, "We mistranslated this tablet years ago. It actually says to celebrate." Hey everybody, it's the Aries 1999 coming back at you in another video. Today we are going to be talking about the Monk class. This feels like one of the more underrated classes, but I think it's actually pretty cool. I have been looking around, and here are 8 new monastic subclasses. It's time to unearth some arcana. First up is Way of the Astral Self. These monks have a deep connection to their own non-physical essences. Someone call James Brown, because this is some soul. All of their abilities are based around being able to take on an astral-like form for up to 10 minutes. At level 3, they get these long astral arms that they can use to perform physical tasks. At level 6, they can produce an astral mask to help them see clearly and be more intuitive. At level 11, their arms become more powerful, being able to let them take less damage, deal more damage, and to speak louder. Then at level 17, they can take on full spiritual armor. Up, we have the Way of the Tranquility. These monks are all about not hurting people when they don't have to, but they definitely have some balancing issues. First, they can cast the Sanctuary spell on themselves every minute, and it lasts for 8 hours. I would say that this should be the regular duration, and they can only use it a number of times equal to their wisdom modifier, minimum of once. Also at this level, they get access to Paladin Lay on Hands, but it heals 10 per level. I feel like this should just be the normal 5. At level 6, they get a new charisma skill, giving them advantage on checks to calm people down. I'm fine with this because the advantage has its limitations. And then at level 11, this goes a step further to forcing people to make a wisdom save or become non-violent. It says that it doesn't work if the target is missing any hit points, but I think the rules should be disadvantage if it lost hit points and impossible if you dealt that damage.
No, people, let's be smart and bring it off.
Then, at level 17, they can seek vengeance on those who have hurt others. If they see someone drop a creature to 0, then they can give themselves an attack bonus against that creature. The one who dealt the damage, not the one that dropped to 0. That would be some overkill. Now we're going to go in a similar direction for Way of Mercy. These are like the life clerics of the monk world. They specialize in healing, but aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. At level 3, they become proficient in medicine, as well as poison and herbal kits. They can also spend a key point to heal people by touching them. This is equal to the Monk Die plus Wisdom mod, and they can also use Necro damage to help them fight. At level 6, they can just exude noxious vapor against their foes. At level 11, they can cure a disease or special condition. And then at level 17, they can suspend people in animation. Well, that's all I have today in regards to Unearthed Arcana. At this point you may be thinking, hey, I promised you 8 subclasses and you only got 3. Well, that's because the next 5 are homebrew monk traditions that I made, and I'm really interested in hearing your opinion on these. First up is Way of the Furious Fist. These monks focus on a primal fury that's within all creatures, and as you can guess, it's based off of Barbarian. At level 3, they can Rage. This is similar to Barbaric Rage with a few exceptions. They don't have advantage on strength rolls, the damage bonus only applies to martial art attacks, and they don't get damage resistances just yet. Then at level 6, they get the damage resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, and in addition can add their Constitution modifier to their unarmed defense while raging. Then at level 11, they get their improved critical. Then at level 17, the damage boost for rage becomes a +3, and they can get some additional attacks if they reduce a creature to 0 hit points. Next up is Way of the Draconic Disciple. These monks study the art forms of dragons to imitate their vast power. I base them heavily off of the Dragonborn and their Draconic bloodline sorcerers. At level 3, they choose a Draconic type, which they can use to augment their unarmed strikes. Since they are based on studying dragons, they learn the Draconic language and the history skill. Then, at level 6, they receive resistance to their own dragon type and a +1 to armor class. At level 11, they learn a powerful Draconic fist attack.
No more! You're mine! Dragon Fist!
At level 17, they can put themselves in a highly draconic state for 1 minute. During this time, they are immune to their dragon damage type, and they have 1 use of legendary resistance. Next up is Way of the Judoka. These are monks who specialize in judo, and yes, a judoka is someone who practices judo. At level 3, they get some bonus proficiencies and learn new techniques, like Disarming Strike to disarm an opponent, then Circle Throw to push back a grappled opponent, and Seizing Dive to let them grapple as a bonus action. At level 6, they get the Rogue Uncanny Dodge reaction, but it requires a key point. At level 11, they can use pressure points to temporarily paralyze a foe. And then at level 17, they can use their reaction to fight back. Then there's Way of the Cyclone. These monks specialize in using the force of storms to power them in their martial arts. And this may or may not be to fit in with some weather-themed party that I'm planning a video for. At level 3, they learn the Auran dialect of Primordial, or Auran, the air one, anyway. They can also make their fists do extra lightning or thunder damage. At level 6, they can glide like the Manta Semic Hybrid. If you're unfamiliar with those, they come from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravinka, which is a campaign setting based off of Magic the Gathering. At level 11, they can channel the clouds around them to form a storm shield that lets them fly around and shoot lightning at people for up to 10 minutes. Then at level 17, they can run forward to take off to the sky. Now we have Way of the Fleetfoot. These monks use their understanding of ki to shake off the weight of the world. At level 3, their movement speed increases by 10 feet, and they can use Flurry of Blows when they dodge or dash instead of just when attacking. At level 6, they are able to use their sheer velocity as a weapon. Their attacks become more powerful the further that they move beforehand, because they're moving faster. You know, force and acceleration, mass, all that. At level 11, they are attacking so quickly that they're able to slip in an extra unarmed strike when they battle. Then, at level 17, they're able to enter a new form in combat. Their speed doubles, their jumps go further, and they get 1 more attack. For most abilities like this, it only can be used once per day, but they can activate this whenever they want. The catch is that each use invokes exhaustion. Well, now, about a year ago, I did a video talking about what's the fastest that you can go in D&D. That didn't allow any homebrew content, but now I'm just wondering how this monk would factor in. Yeah, that'd be pretty powerful. Doubling again and extra speed. Yeah, I'll link to that one in the description. Well, there you go. 8 new subclasses. Tell me your opinions of these down in the comments. Do they seem fun, and how can they be better balanced? Do you think you'll maybe use these at your game table? I was trying to make new options that all felt different from what was already there with Monk. Do you guys want more videos like this that are focused on a particular class? Usually my homebrews talk about applying a different theme to D&D, and class options might be a part of that. For example, with the Jedi video, I talked about Monk a lot in there. Well, that's all I have for today, but I will be back soon for more content. Tell me what you think down in the comments, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Have a great day, and God bless.